Hey community, excuse my messy room in the background, but you know, I'm not one of those people who's really neat right now because I have a lot of clutter because I just came back from college. But speaking of college, this video is for particularly incoming freshmen for college. These are the tips that I wrote down that I think were really helpful or that I wish that I knew. So without further ado, if you want to hear my tips that people don't really say, let's get into it. Hi, my name's Kat Ho. I go to Boston College. For those of you who are new to this channel, feel free to subscribe down below and smash that like button. No, I'm not someone that can like just say that and not cringe. So like gently tap the like button, I guess. I don't know. But okay, so the first piece of advice that I have for you is that everyone is now a small fish. And by that I mean you always hear the saying like big fish in a small ocean or whatever, like when you're a senior in high school or you're a 5th grader at the top of elementary school or an 8th grader at the top of middle school. That's what it's like for me. But now you're entering a new place. Potentially it's a bigger place than your high school or whatever, and so there's a lot more people, a lot more different people, and that means there's going to be a whole range of wealth, of different types of people, you know, race, ethnicity, just diversity in general. But specifically about socioeconomic status, there's gonna be people who are like wearing Gucci just as pajamas, and there's gonna be the people like me. This was a hand-me-down from literally my mom's client was like, I can't fit in this shirt. So that's what I'm wearing. So there's going to be people all over the spectrum, and there's going to be people who are lower than me, higher than me, blah, 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 lower than you, higher than you. And so you should just pay no mind to that because you just need to find the genuine interactions and try to not see people for their wealth. There are going to be some people who are like, oh, I have a car on campus because I just want to be able to drive to the mall. And then there's going to be people who are like, I walk everywhere, not because I want to, because I have to, you know? And then there's gonna be people who bike and blah, 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 people in between. So just don't pay any attention to that. If anything, that's something I think of as a positive, because in high school and middle school, I think that the popularity was like really honed in on, and there was definitely a popular group. Like, think about your high school and think about the popular group. You're thinking of certain people, right? Yeah. Well, that's like what it was for me. So there was a specific popular group, and at college, or as I found at BC, like there isn't a specific popular group. There's just so many people that you can't even group them. Like, it's not possible. The groups are the different clubs. Like, there's the Caribbean culture club, or there's the Southeast Asian culture. So like there's no different popularity scale, okay? So that I think was actually really good. My second piece of advice, this is like weirdly specific, but I just felt the need to write it, okay? Get a door wedge. If your dorm does not provide a door wedge, order one as fast as you freaking can. Sorry, I was really looking forward to the feeling of my hall all having their doors open and you would like go to the bathroom and be like, hey Chelsea, but we didn't have door wedges, and so all of our doors were closed, and this is bad. But to this day, about 10 days after school's out, I still don't know the name of everyone on my floor. And it's not even like, oh, there's so many people, there's like 30. And after a year, you should know the name of the 30 people who live next to you. So get a door wedge, then people will know you and your roommate, or unless you're in a single or triple or quad, they'll know you and your roommates as the really friendly people who are always like, hey, what's up? And that is a big thing that I wish that I got earlier. Okay, third thing, be spontaneous in the beginning of the year, okay? So for BC, we had a welcome week and we had an orientation, and those were separate things. So orientation was like a sixth of our class just going to seminars that they made us go to, like don't get drunk, and like bystander intervention, which is like sexual assault prevention, stuff like that. So that was what orientation was for us. And we had like little groups that we would course register with, and we would do like really awkward icebreakers with, which I'll get to that in a second. But then we had welcome week, which was the whole class comes a few days before the upperclassmen and the sophomores, because we need to move in and then have all these activities planned for us that your floor does together. So that's how we do it at BC. But anyways, what I was saying about the awkward icebreakers is like, just rip the band-aid off, okay? When my orientation leader, his name was Ange, but just rip the band-aid off, and when she's like, can someone please raise your hand and say your name and your hometown and a fun fact. Don't be like, oh, that's too weird. Like, I'm not gonna be the one to say a fun fact. Or at least I'm not gonna raise my hand first, because that's like so embarrassing. Like, I don't wanna be the one to say that I'm from Boston first. That's so awkward. Don't be that person. It's more awkward when you're last. And people are just like, can you raise your hand now so this can be over? So just raise your hand, be like, hey, I'm Kat, I'm from Boston, and I only like 3 fruits. Just rip the band-aid off and do it, okay? Another part of that, being spontaneous, is the fact that everyone is nervous. You just need to be the one to grab, if you've been lucky enough to make a friend so far. If not, all the power to you. This is all the more reason you should do this. Just go up to someone who looks like they're not doing anything. Don't go up to someone who's just like on their phone and looks bored. Well, maybe go up to them, but whatever. Go up to someone who's just like sitting by themselves, or even a group of people. I've done this with like multiple groups of people, multiple single people, blah, blah, blah. Just go up to them and be like, hey, how's it going? Because they're a freshman as well, and the chances are that they're just more shy or equally as shy as you, and they're just waiting for someone to break this awkward, like, I mean, no one likes sitting alone when the goal was to be making friends, or like when other people are making friends around you and you're just sitting alone not talking to anyone. Like, no one likes that feeling, I think. But just go up to someone and say, hey, my name's Kat, like, do you want to grab a bite? Because we had an ice cream place next to us. It's called White Mountain. So good. And I was like, Hannah, point to a group of people, because we were all in Alumni Stadium, which is like our football stadium. We were all there, and I was like, Hannah, point to a group of people who looks bored. She's like, okay. She pointed to a group of people, and I just went up to them and I was like, hi, how's it going? And immediately, well, it was only guys, but like all the guys were like, oh, hi, how's it going? Like, I'm Connor, or whatever their names were. And I was like, we're gonna get ice cream if you wanna come. And they did. And it was like, they were excited, you know? And it made me excited, because it made me feel like I was making friends, and it makes you look like a more personable person. And it's honestly, I think, was their saving grace that someone came up to them and broke the awkward tension. So that's my tip for that, of being spontaneous, because everyone is nervous. Okay, next, figure out your learning habits now and your study habits now, okay? Because now you're entering college, the work will be harder and everything like that, okay? And you need to be ready, okay? You need to be ready to like take on the world and just go for it, okay? Because the work piled on so much for me. I don't know if it's just because I was in the nursing school, but like so many people have a lot of work, okay? It's gonna get overwhelming eventually how much work you have, like whether it's finals or whatever. And I'm saying right now, well, not right now, after you see this video, after you watch this video, go onto Bark, just Google like Bark learning style quiz, and it'll come up. It's free. And you literally just like answer the questions, and you'll find out what learning style you are, and it'll give you tips on how to kind of combat that learning style and like make sure that you're getting the most out of how you learn specifically. And then when a test comes around, when 5 tests comes around, it won't be as daunting to you, because especially when I was entering college, and even now, I don't really know my study habits, and I was kind of hoping to just wing it, and that did not go well for me, okay? That did not go well. Like, grade-wise, no. You need to be able to find your study techniques, hone in on them, and then use them right away, like by the second test, okay? First test, I'll give you a trial. Second test, you need to have it ready. Because if you want to get the grades that you want, you need to know how efficient you can be and how to do that. So go on Bark and take that quiz. I'm so serious. And it's also like I was doing so much to try to figure it out, and I still haven't figured it out. So start your researching now and figure out what study habits will work best for you. Kind of going along with the study habits is I think it's called the Pomodoro technique. Maybe it's Pompodoro technique, but it's the idea that for 20 minutes, you are focused. Your phone is on the other side of the room. Your computer, other side of the room, unless you literally have to use it for that assignment or that studying or whatever. 20 minutes you are grinding, okay? And then for 10 minutes, take your phone now, get a snack, go to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. But the idea is that it makes it so efficient because for those 20 minutes, you are in deep studying time. And many people have talked about this, so this isn't like I came up with it or anything. But if you do the Pomodoro technique for just 2 hours, that is much better than being distracted for 4 hours, you know? And it'll cut your study time down so much and be really helpful for you. So that's the tea with that. That's not tea, but like whatever. Do it. And then it'll also be easier to like figure out how long it takes to study and stuff, because once you start practicing doing that, you'll be able to see how fast you can do stuff, and you can like fit in time for, I don't know, breathing. My next tip is that the syllabus is your Bible, okay? Look at it at the beginning of the year. See how much each part of your grade is worth. For example, if tests are worth 99%, maybe don't pay mind to the other 1%. Or like if they're only worth 20%, maybe don't only pay attention to tests, you know? So just make sure that you are looking at those things, getting those main priorities out of the way so that you can get an A on those, and then maybe the 1% participation grade is what you get a B on. You know what I mean? So that is my tip for that. My next tip is planning. So I have like a really creepy time management thing that I like don't actually use that much, but what I've discovered is my other Bible that I always have with me is Google Calendar, because I can color code things. I can be really like nerdy and annoying about it, but it keeps me accountable. It makes sure I always know where I am and what I'm doing. And like if someone's like, do you want to grab a bite? I'm like, frick yeah, I'm gonna put it in the Google Calendar because I only have 8 minutes between this time and this time, and I'll book you for those 7 minutes that I don't need to walk to the next thing. So that's really important, and just do that, okay? Get Google Calendar, use Apple Calendar, use whatever phone calendar, okay? I recommend Google Calendar because you can share it with anyone else who has Google Calendar and like share events with them and stuff. So I like it a lot, and it shows up on your computer. So I have a tab on my computer that is just for Google Calendar, one for my like personal account and one for my school account. So that just helps me a lot. Maybe I'll show you guys what my Google Calendar looks like in the middle of the year, and it's crazy. So, and I keep it on the weekly thing because I like to see the whole week, but I also like to see the hours of what I'm doing daily. So it's kind of a nice in between. All right, my next tip is get involved, but not too much. So the beginning part, you've probably heard people say like, get involved, blah, blah, blah. But the key that no one tells you is get involved, but not too much. Because for me, this, I don't know, like year or whatever, I was involved in Ultimate Frisbee, which was 3 nights a week for about 2 to 3 hours per like those times. And then I was also involved in RHC, which is Residence Hall Council, and it's basically putting on events for the floor and for the dorm. So I was involved in those. It's also, RHC was a bigger part of RHA, which was like a club that I had to go to weekly, and they had events and stuff like that. And then I was also involved in, is that it? I mean, I had a job. So now I have a job. I didn't get that until toward the end of the year. And then I'm also a student, which is, I'm in the nursing school, blah, blah, blah. I've said that before. But like, that was a lot, to the point where like, if one thing was really stressing me out, I couldn't enjoy anything else because it just felt like another thing that I had to do. You know what I mean? Like, it got to the point where the things that I enjoyed, ultimate, putting on programs, became a burden because I just was so drained. So yeah, I had like a lot of roommate drama, blah blah blah. Like this video if you want to see that. But no one wants to see that. But it just made everything hard, you know? And so I would say if you want to really be dedicated to something and like not be stressed out, I'd say choose 2 clubs, maybe 3, like maybe 3, but choose 2 clubs that you can like fully devote yourself. Oh, I was also involved in improv, but I had to like stop doing that. Choose 2 clubs that you can really just dive into, because chances are those meet at least 3 times a week. And that's maybe 6 days out of your week that like you have a commitment besides school or besides just hanging out with your friends, you know? So just think about that when you're at club involvement fair. Like, you're not just taking all the flyers and like writing down your email everywhere. Like, yes, do that, but also talk to them. Actually imagine where you could picture yourself and identify like top 5 clubs to whittle down 2 or 3 that you see yourself in, you know? So ask them about the time commitment, ask them about how much you have to be committed, like not only how much does it meet, but how much you have to be committed and that type of thing. So yeah, get involved, but not too much. My second to last tip is eat. That's literally it, eat. Just like I was talking about with Google Calendar before, literally put in your calendar when you will eat, because there were days where I had 1 meal. And I'm not saying there were days as in there were a couple, I'm saying as in there were many days when I had 1 meal. And it was like bad. So literally force yourself to eat. Tell friends we're getting lunch tomorrow at 11. So you're accountable, because a lot of times you're tired, you just want to go back to your dorm, I get it. You just want to go back to your dorm, lie down on the bed, do nothing. Or get to work because you have so much work. Force yourself to eat. Even if it's you get your food, grab it and go. And then you take your relaxation time, blah, 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 later while you're eating. Just force yourself to eat. Do it, okay? Like, I didn't develop like an eating disorder, but I just became so lazy because I was so tired that I didn't want to move to go to the dining hall. Like, that's literally it. My last tip is be kind to everyone. This kind of goes along with what I was saying about when you're first starting out, but like, I have had many days where I was super tired, super cranky, didn't want to be doing what I was doing, right? And like, everyone's gonna have those days. Everybody has okay, sorry, Hannah Montana, sorry. Everyone's gonna have those days, so you need to level with people, okay? If you smile at someone and they don't smile back, fine. That's not on you. You're not being mean, you smiled at them. Like, whatever. But be sure to be saying thank you to people. Say have a great day, blah blah blah, how are you? Just be constantly in touch with other people and be empathetic and attentive to the fact that they might have been having a cranky day. That's why they didn't say thank you when you held the door for them. And sometimes it is that they're snotty and mean, but that shouldn't affect you, like whatever, that's just makes them a mean person. But you can affect how you come across to other people. So even people who you judge or you thought weren't nice or whatever, if they smile at you, freaking smile back. Don't be like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm not gonna smile back even though you smiled at me. Just don't be like that, okay? So, that was my last tip. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you have any more videos about college or anything else like this, leave them below, whether it's I don't know, study hacks. I don't know if I'd be the best at that, but I can try. Or those types of things, or other things that people don't tell you. Leave a comment below. Like this video, because the more, like and share this video, because the more views and likes it gets, the more I know that that's the kind of content that people want me to make. But you could also just comment below and tell me that too. But, so, there's multiple ways for you to tell me that you liked the video. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to make more videos like this in the future for you guys. So I'll talk to you soon.